guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Joyce. I'm part of the board member of Temecula Valley Pride, and I'm just going to do a little speech to start off. Today we are gathered for Transgender Day of Remembrance to honor the transgender and gender diverse people whose lives were taken by violence and hatred. Their names remind us not only the cost of prejudice, but the beauty, strength, and humanity that was stolen from our world. We mourn their loss, and we also affirm the living. Every trans person deserves safety, dignity, and the freedom to be themselves without fear. Let today be a call to action. Let our remembrance inspire us to challenge violence, uplift trans voices, and create communities where trans people can live and thrive. To those we have lost, we remember you. To those here today, you matter and you are loved. Thank you.
My name is Liz Atkinson, and I am the chair of the Reconciling in Christ Committee at Hope Lutheran Church. Let us take a moment of silence to remember and honor our transgender siblings who we've lost, and also to honor those who are in this journey. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. Welcome, all of you. My name is Drew Davis. I'm the pastor of Temecula United Methodist Church. And this evening, as we sit in this place of reflection for our dear transgender friends who have experienced violence, who have been pushed to places of self-doubt and self-harm, we are here as allies, but we are also here as allies in the spirits. We are here as supporters and caregivers, and for those that we have lost, there are still those in the journey. And I pray as we support each other this evening, we find ways to support our dear siblings that are still in the journey. We have some special speakers this evening that I will introduce to you, and the first of those speakers will be on video, and it's Miss Grace Thompson. We at our Thursday night group Amplify have had a blessing of hearing about Grace's journey as a transgender female, and she has sent us a video this evening as a prayer of support and a prayer of comfort for what we are observing tonight. So if you'll please play the first video.
Hi, my name is Grace. I identify as a transgender woman, out as trans for 4 years, living publicly in Fort Mill, South Carolina for the past 2 years. My pronouns are she, her. I'd like to offer a reflection for 2025's Transgender Day of Remembrance. Early in my journey, I happened to be on Facebook, and I can still picture the trans young adult smiling with her dog next to her recently purchased car as she was about to embark on a new chapter of her life, only to continue reading and discover with grief that she had taken her life, and there would be no more pictures of her expanding story and life. I visited this week tdor.translivesmatter.info/reports. It's a website that keeps alive the memory of trans individuals whose lives have been taken from us, and learned the sobering reality that as of September 29, 354 transgender people around the globe that we know of have been lost to us through violence or suicide. Most of those have been in the United States and South America. While on this site, I took time looking into the eyes of Tiara Love Torrey Jackson, who was shot and killed just miles from my house less than 60 days ago, wondering why. I did the same with Blake Sturm from Roanoke, Virginia, who took his own life in early September, mourning that he could not feel his own worth under the weight of a culture that pressed him to see himself as broken and evil. I'd like to begin this reflection by asking us to close our eyes and take a long moment of silence, lamenting the incalculable loss of precious people who were loved by God, but whose worth became invisible to themselves or to others simply because of who they are. Please lament with me that this happens at all, much less the hundreds and thousands of times each and every year. Would you close your eyes? And as we begin this moment of silence, let's take a deep cleansing breath in through our nose and fill up our entire chest and body cavity. And let's breathe out slowly. And let's take this next moment of silence to remember and to lament. As we come back, let's again take a deep cleansing breath in through our nose and out through our mouths. No one truly knows the reason that someone takes their life or another human being decides to take another's. But there are clues. A president and a government that declares that I and my fellow trans siblings don't exist and don't deserve to exist, that needed medical care can and should be withheld, that our presence in the military, in schools, in public life should be opposed and expunged from the record, that we should be outed and shamed wherever possible. That's a clue why trans lives are lost and trans people suffer needlessly. A Supreme Court justice who is presented with evidence of the harms of reparative therapy, a therapy that asks gender and sexual minorities to see themselves as broken and evil, with promises of change that never come, leading to hopelessness and shame. This justice wants to remove bans on this therapy, dismissing the harm and offering the empty consolation that if it goes bad, well, you can just sue for malpractice, even as you grieve the death by suicide that grows so dramatically for those exposed to this kind of therapy. That's a clue. A majority of the Supreme Court and several state legislatures who sanction the refusal to grant gender marker changes on identity documents, saying it's no different than reporting the location of your birth, which is about like saying that forcing someone to wear a Star of David in Nazi Germany is no different than requiring them to wear a name tag. That's a clue. The pastor, by no means unique, who preached while I sat there that all trans people are pedophiles. Well, maybe not all, he said, but most. and then proceeded to tell the assembled congregation how disgusted God is with every lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer person, and how hell is made for us, and that loving us in any way that promotes compassion or understanding is a perversion of Jesus' command to love our neighbors. That's a big clue. When a majority of our political and religious leaders choose quite vocally and cruelly to question our very worth and right to exist, no wonder individual trans people suffer to the point of hopelessness, and others are emboldened to act forcefully to inflict harm on us, either through exclusionary laws or outright violence. What can we do? I think there's much. I would ask us to learn, to use our mind and hearts to imagine a more compassionate world, and to make room for trans people in your circle of friends, the same way Jesus made room in his life for those that others, most notably the religious and political leaders of his day, felt deserved no room. Make room for us. For example, invite your family and friends to see Wicked Part 1 and to put themselves in the shoes of Elphaba with her green skin and imagine what it's like for non-passing trans people to show up in public. Imagine you are Prince Fiero as he looks past Elphaba's skin to see the person inside with all the same desires and capacities for genuine connection as any human, and how his genuine curiosity for a moment helps her silence her desperate need to defend her very existence. Determined to be that person of royalty who actually dares to see the person in front of you and love them. Do that for the trans people you meet. Indeed, for every person you meet. In a word, outdo one another in showing honor, not scorn. So asked Jesus in Romans 12:10. Use name and pronouns when you know them. And if you can't, because you've been told or believe that this jeopardizes your relationship with God or with yourself, then at least adopt the old mantra that if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all. I'm not asking you to betray yourself or your God while you're figuring this out. Conscience matters. I am asking that you don't betray your trans neighbor either, that you do for others what you would have them do for you, that you would show the respect you would want to receive. Visit tdor.translivesmatter.info/reports and take a moment to look at even a few of the names or the pictures of the 354 trans people who have died by violence or suicide around the world in 2025, and mourn their loss. Jesus always looked with compassion on the people he met, never contempt. Don't laugh at trans or queer jokes. Don't validate cruel or scornful comments either by silence or by feigned agreement. Instead, consider asking if the person speaking actually knows any trans people. And if you know some, speak about what you know, being careful not to out them without their permission. Read books or listen to podcasts authored by trans people, rather than to stereotypes espoused by those who've obviously never met the people they speak about. For example, Congresswoman Sarah McBride's book, Tomorrow Will Be Different, or Paula Stone Williams' book, As a Woman, both deeply impactful for me. Most importantly of all, make room for trans people in your life. Make friends with trans people. Let yourself care about a real person who is different from you. It's a lot easier to push back against a culture of exclusion when it's impacting someone you know and love. My invitation is to use this Trans Day of Remembrance as a starting reminder to imagine life through the eyes of a trans person so that you can make your corner of the world a safe and inviting place for all of God's children. God bless you.
It is my absolute blessing to invite Eli Radford Ford, who is a local author and is here to share about his journey. Thank you.
I began my journey to transition. I'm a non-binary trans individual myself. My pronouns are they, them, or he, him. Growing up here in Temecula was definitely very tough, you know. You hear all the things, you're an abomination, you know, you're going to hell. Even from my own parents, and that's like, it's very tough, you know, to hear negative comments for what seems like no reason, you know, you're just being yourself and trying to find a way to live in peace as everybody else is, you know. Honestly, in 2019, when I went to start my journey, I really wanted to just jump onto hormones, you know, and the journey that took me down had to start therapy, and that was really when I began to get my mental health in check. I got on antidepressants, I really put in some work and some time, and the end of 2021, I started hormone replacement therapy, and that was really the beginning of something that I couldn't do for myself, that changed mentally, you know. It was just a piece that antidepressants, that therapy, that support from my family and my community, you know, like it couldn't, I needed it, you know. It was something that really saved my life, and so I started that journey. I got off of antidepressants. I got top surgery along the way, and yeah, gender affirming care really just saved my life, honestly. So I am blessed that I got here in my journey, you know. Some people don't even make it this far, and we're here to remember those people and to celebrate the lives that they were living and remember that they were taken from us too soon, you know. I'm blessed to be here today with a beautiful family, my wife, our amazing kiddo, and I'm still here in Temecula, and I found, you know, the Amplify group, and that's been the start to a new journey, which is healing a part of myself that I really didn't want to begin opening the doors to, you know. I found this group, and you guys have been honestly just amazing. Personally, I consider it real Christians, you know, showing God's love, no matter who you are, what you look like. Just finding community with you guys has been a blessing for my family, and I wanted to say thank you to all of you guys who come and do the work, you know, to rewrite some of the stuff that we've all been taught, you know, from different churches. Thank you to all the pastors who are here today, Pastor Drew, for asking me to speak. You know, I didn't really know what to say when I got up here, but Grace, I mean, said a lot of really important things, and I just want to echo everything she said with the rise of violence and people choosing to hate on the trans community specifically right now. It's terrifying. It really is. And so it really is just important that, I mean, being here at a church and doing this event has been something I really never thought I'd be doing, and that's why it's really cool that I found myself here tonight with all of you guys. So thank you for, you know, listening, and I'll get out of here now.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. And every time that you call out, you're a little less alone.
If you only say the word,
From across the silence, your voice is heard. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. But the sun comes streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking, and all is new. All is new. It's filling up the empty, and suddenly I see that all is new. All is new. You are not alone. 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 Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need someone to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So reach up and rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found.
you will be found.
Thank you so very much for sharing your journey with us. When we hear a person's story, it empowers both ways. It helps an individual become comfortable with themselves and to find their voice and to find their language to share their journey. But it also encourages us to learn about those stories, to see how that we can grow through them and we can find newness within ourselves so that we can be supportive in a new way. We don't have to understand journeys, we just need to be willing to listen to them.
This section moves into a time of sharing that our community had that evening. This was a time that we named the names of our transgender siblings who have either been murdered or committed suicide over the past calendar year. On this slide that you see, there is a QR code. This QR code will take you to a slide presentation that has the names and the faces of these dear friends. I encourage you to look at this QR code, go to the slideshow, read these names, say a short prayer for each of these individuals, and remember, as we name these names, it honors the spirits of these individuals that were truly valued. As we name these names, it honors the journeys of these dear siblings that should have gone on much further. So please, I encourage you, click on this QR code, go to this website, see the names, see the faces, and pray for those who are still on these journeys and concerns, that they find places of peace and comfort, and they see that there is other options. I pray for those who are being bullied or are dealing with moments of violence, and I pray that doors open for their safety and security. Please, Lord, make it so that these celebrations become smaller, because all of our dear transgender siblings find support.
I hope that while that you were doing that, that you also saw everything else that was listed. Today, as I looked through those, preparing for tonight, I knew the extent of hurt, but not that far. Some of the phrasings that were used as part of the violence that was a part of these was staggering. Thank you for adding voice to their names tonight. As we remember them all, they are all individuals who deserve to be loved. I'm sure their families wish that they were with them right now instead of being a name that was said in a church that they've never been in. The song that you are about to hear is by a transgender activist named Ryan Casada. It's called Hold On, You Belong. If you listen to the flow of this song, it starts out with an individual that's trying to process who they are. That even to some extent they don't feel like they belong to themselves. But it's a journey that carries on, that they begin to discover who they are. And they keep holding on until that they find a community to hold on with. I want you to think about these names that we just shared as we hear this song this evening.
They said take that hat off, can't wear your hair short, just a little child. You're too young to know yourself. When you grow up you want something else. Don't let your thoughts run wild. They told me to stay pretty face. Don't you change what God creates. You're a Sarah Bell. Don't you pick a new